And with that, we are going to go straight into the spoilers because we cannot wait to talk about this.
Yes. First, we'll start out with the title. Do you remember what the title is?
I never remember the title, and that's my running gag.
Do you remember what the title is?
But this is your last chance. All right, this is your last chance.
Yes.
Spoilers coming. All right, so if you haven't seen the episode, what are you doing here? Go watch it.
On the back of cars.
Get lost.
Get hyped and come back and listen to our spoiler rant, and you can join along with us. And if you have seen the episode and you're ready for this, comment. We want to know what you guys thought of this episode too. If you're as pumped as we are, pumped, then say it in the comments. Like it. Tell your friends about us.
Subscribe to it.
Please do.
Subscribe.
All
right, that was your last warning. All right, Nick. I can't remember the title.
He's going to say it.
I believe it was something along the lines of The Return of the Mandalorian.
It was indeed 100% for you, sir.
Exactly.
Nice.
The Return of the Mandalorian.
Yes.
It was
amazing. And I wore the shirt hoping that it would happen because I got Mando sitting right there on my arm and Grogu because Grogu really was in some way.
Referenced.
He was referenced. He wasn't
least.
in it.
And I said last week,
but he was heavily referenced.
I said last week, I said they can't help but get that sweet Grogu buzz, and they just did that. In the show.
Sweet,
absolutely.
Sweet. Love
before that, Dan,
you called it. Yeah, you
called it early. The first episode of season 3/2.5 of Mandalorian.
Yeah. Well, we did a pre-thoughts and reactions way back before the show came out, and in that we were surmising what direction they might go, who they might bring in. We did I think above and below 40%, 50%. Would we see certain characters?
We needed you for that too.
And
we don't know how to do that.
We don't know how to do that.
I can do that, but it all came true. I was like, is this truly a Boba Fett show? Or is this Mandalorian's kind of third season?
Yeah, exactly.
Or second and a half. So Dustin, you accurately said this is basically turning into Mandalorian 2.5.
Yeah, but in some ways, though, that is almost more true for you because they covered so much in this episode with the Mandalorian.
Oh my gosh.
Normally, that would take almost like 3 episodes.
It was basically all him.
This was like Mandalorian.
Boba didn't even appear.
I guess the way I can think of it is this one episode you could say was Mandalorian season 3.
Yeah, exactly.
It
was like the opener to
the
season
entire
3.
season 3.
Because it progressed so much.
Yeah.
I mean,
it did.
And there were so many moments.
Oh my
It was
gosh.
intense, dude.
Yeah.
The flashbacks, the history of Mandalorians. You got the battles, the Dark Saber.
Oh, holy crap, yeah.
The bounty, which is like,
starship.
It was like 2.0 version of the very first episode of Mando when he walks into that cantina.
It was. I love that fight.
It was literally...
What an entrance. What a way to start. I mean, they didn't hold anything back. And that's the thing I'll say. This whole season so far of Boba Fett has been holding back like everything. We're like,
I'd agree.
Just waiting for something super epic to happen.
Yes.
And wouldn't you know, the Mandalorian happens.
Yeah.
Not Boba Fett doing something awesome. It's the Mandalorian
and
just blew our freaking minds.
And like Matt was saying, Boba Fett wasn't even in this episode.
Yeah.
Not
Fennec
once.
Made like
2 minutes?
A 2-minute appearance at the very end.
If that. It's like a minute.
Maybe a minute. Yeah.
I'm just going to go into the one problem I had with this episode.
Well, let's start with negatives and then we'll jump to all the 1,000
It's a
positives.
Boba Fett episode that doesn't have Boba Fett in it.
Yeah,
So that's the downfall.
It's misplaced, but it's so well done that I almost don't even care.
Yeah, you don't care.
that it's a Boba Fett episode.
You don't. Nope.
It's in.
Nope.
I was like, why didn't they just make Mando season 3?
Well, they are.
I know they are, but
yeah.
seriously, you should have just done that because, Boba Fett up to this point, it's been kind of a joke, really.
I mean,
it's okay. It's not what it should be, in my opinion.
It wasn't. None of those episodes combined compared to this episode.
No, it's not even close.
It's hard to even put them on the same planet.
Yeah.
And I wonder if part of that is because now we already have 2 full seasons of established Mandalorian. And now we see him again after what we've already seen and come to expect with Mandalorian. Versus like they're really trying to establish Boba Fett. They're really trying to bring you back into his mindset. And
I think it's the character development. They went the wrong way with Boba Fett.
Well, I'll say this real quick.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
But I'll say the biggest thing is because Boba Fett doesn't feel like Boba Fett.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Talks
That's
too
the
much.
Thing. Yeah, that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
So they did like a 180 with Boba Fett. Whereas like before we saw Boba Fett, he was a ruthless bounty hunter.
Right.
Now we see Boba Fett coming out of the Sarlacc pit, and he's a nice guy who wants to rule.
He's got
with
brain
respect.
damage.
What you said
I
at
think
the
he has brain
beginning was
damage.
true about how Mandalorian acts more Boba.
He does.
than
He
Yeah.
acts more Boba
And
than
that's-
Boba does.
And that's why we like Mandalorian so much,
Yeah.
because he acts like Boba Fett.
One word
More so,
answers, straight to the point, and killing.
Yeah, he just takes care of business, and that's what we wanted to see the whole season from Boba Fett, and we have seen none of that. Everybody else has done something for the most part, except for Boba Fett, other than like one or two things.
Yeah.
And it still doesn't even feel like Boba Fett. We've been waiting this whole season for Boba Fett to feel like Boba Fett.
Yeah.
And that's why we liked Mando
has
when it
yet to
came
pass.
out, right?
Yeah,
he was like Boba Fett, but we didn't think we could get Boba Fett. We're like, well, this is as close as we're going to get to Boba Fett. When you watch Jon Favreau and them talk about it, he's like, I want to write a show about Boba Fett. And they're like, well, why don't you write it kind of about Boba Fett, but it's actually a different character.
Right.
And then Filoni comes in, he's like, you could take a Mandalorian,
Approach.
path. yeah. And then here we go.
But and also for the fact that like every episode of the Mandalorian or Boba Fett has covered not very much.
Yeah.
We haven't got a ton. It's taken a while.
Snippets.
It's taken the season or episode 4 to get to modern time.
Yeah.
And everything that
Well,
we
finally
hardly.
catch up on.
Yeah, we finally
throwbacks.
caught up on everything. Yeah, good
Now,
point, Matt.
that's the other thing is it's the best part about those shows were the flashbacks.
Yeah, in a lot of ways because we didn't do anything in the
Yeah.
really in the modern. They were just giving us little hints
Yeah.
to what was to happen. But in this episode, we cover a lot of ground.
Yes, we do.
We talk. We have history
Wow.
of the Mandalorians that we hadn't
A flashback.
seen, which blew my mind.
Great.
That
Literally
was a-
blew up Mandalore too.
Literally blew up Mandalore, which was crazy.
Yeah.
I was just watching that. I was just like, "We're seeing this right now? Are we
right,
seriously
right?
seeing this
I'm
right
like,
now?"
why did they should have? This is how Boba Fett should have started. Like this is how it should have went.
Yeah.
What was it called? Night of 1,000 Tears?
Yes,
Something
Night
like
of 1,000 Tears is whenever the
Explosions.
Empire basically blew the crap out of
that. And then you
Mandalore.
had the K2SOs marching
Yeah, the
around.
Terminators.
The Terminator.
Yeah.
The Terminator.
Terminator 3000.
Arnold
Down.
always comes into our episodes.
Always.
He always
letting you
does.
know.
He always
Every time.
sneaks his way in here.
He sneaks his Schwarzenegger way in here.
Wow, Arnold.
Arnie.
He's sneaking around Arnoldly.
Yeah. But that was awesome seeing that scene.
Yeah.
How much information we learned about like Din, what's going on with Din Djarin the Mando, with his Dark Saber, the spear,
Yep.
the armor we got to see again, Jon Favreau as a Vizsla, a fight,
Vizsla.
some awesome fighting. I mean, everything in this episode was perfect. Almost.
Perfect.
The only thing, okay, the only negative, we'll go into another negative.
You're
The
negative.
only other negative that really kind of hurt me in some
hurt
ways.
him.
It hurt him.
Okay, I loved that spear. I loved that Mandalorian
The Beskar
Beskar
spear.
spear. That was one of the coolest things for me in season 2 of the Mando.
Yeah.
I love spears. He basically was
Spears.
a Spartan. This is something I've always wanted to see.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a wandering Spartan in Star Wars with the armor, the shield. He doesn't have the shield, but the shield and the sword, which is what Spartans, make it as epic as 300, but in Star Wars. That would just be so cool. I've always wanted to see that. And he basically was almost there. All he needed was the shield.
Yep.
He would be that.
And now he's 2 steps
But
away.
they melted down the spear.
But
That kind of hurt me. If you watch my reactions, I was like,
Yes.
You're like,
no,
no,
stop.
no.
He said it a few times.
Yeah,
I
like,
couldn't
no.
help it.
He's like, no, that's not right. No.
I love the spear.
Right?
The only saving grace to that, it's still a negative in my opinion, but the only saving grace to that was
Bring it back up
because it was
notches.
for
Grogu.
Yeah. So that's the only thing. If you're gonna melt the Beskar spear for anybody, it better be Grogu.
Make
Right.
something.
Yeah.
We don't know what it is
Do
yet.
you guys have any other negatives though,
No.
other than it
thought
not being
you
a
had
Boba
some.
Fett?
I don't think.
Other than I
No,
wanted
just
another
the
hour.
fact that it was a Boba show.
But it was a Boba
Yeah.
show.
and didn't show
Yeah,
him.
no,
But
that's-
that wasn't even. I mean, necessarily negative. And the
but like I
spear
said-
didn't necessarily hurt me as much as Dustin because
Right.
I like swords. So
Yeah.
and he still has the Dark Saber.
And that
so.
was still cool. And how they even used that called back to Rebels. Dan called it in the episode because she was training with him.
the Dark Saber.
Why don't you go into that, Dan? You're more recent
So
on
if
that.
you haven't seen Rebels, it's not a spoiler. And I'm not going to spoil it because some people in this particular studio have not seen Rebels. You like that?
And me. And Matt.
And we also have a comment from Brianna Brown. It says, I want to know what's in the Grogu head-shaped package.
That's what we were.
Right.
Hey, she saw the Grogu head.
What did they forge
Yes.
from the spear? I cannot wait to see it. We all cannot wait to see.
Right.
I love how they did that too, by the way. I loved how they made it even look like Grogu.
That was great.
It was so good. And
sure,
great comment.
I'm sure it's just going to be
Long-time
like,
listener, big fan.
it's going to be a chainmail suit.
We're a fan of her. Sorry.
Ooh.
Yes. Big fan. She's a big fan. Fan of us.
Sorry.
We're
That
simultaneous
sounded
fans.
weird. Yeah.
It'll
We're
be like
your biggest fan.
Right.
it'll be like
Thanks
the
for coming,
Hobbits.
dude.
So it's like the chainmail.
Yeah, the
or whatever it was,
mithril.
The mithril.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
Yeah.
It did look like a chainmail type thing.
Chainmail, maybe.
All I was going to say is that,
Yes.
the exact moment where they're working with the Dark Saber,
Mm-hmm.
he was fighting. She said the line, you're fighting against it
Right.
and not using it, we're not working with it or whatever it was exactly. Almost exactly. It actually is pretty
Word
much
for
exactly
word.
from Rebels. So if
Yeah.
you watched Rebels, there's a direct parallel, which makes me think like, was Filoni directing that shot or
Right.
He had to have
Obviously.
had a hand in that, though, for sure.
Yeah, didn't you
Obviously
say you wrote
Favreau
all of
knows.
them?
He helped. I don't think he wrote all this
Favreau
season.
wrote 'em.
Favreau wrote this.
Right.
But with Dave Filoni. I mean, they were
Dave
definitely working
Filoni.
hand in hand.
yeah. But this one was directed, side note, by Bryce Dallas Howard.
No,
Yes.
that's a good side note.
Yeah.
This is
It's crazy.
this is the most epic one. It doesn't
Yeah.
feel kiddish.
No.
No,
No,
not
the
at all.
acting was superb. I didn't.
Yeah.
There was no moment that I was taken out of it because of the acting.
I mean, her dad is
Ron Howard.
Ron Howard,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is a very famous director.
Wrong.
And didn't he help finish
did.
Solo?
Yeah,
I think so.
He helped finish Solo.
we
I
like
know.
Solo.
I like
right?
most of Solo. There was a lot of things I just felt like maybe the writing, the way they crafted the story and the writing and the character, I felt like wasn't 100% Solo.
Right.
But it was a fun movie to watch regardless. I think it was it had one of the best Star Wars tones.
yeah.
That's what I've always said about Solo. Solo has the best Star Wars tone of all the new movies that have come out.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the look of Star Wars, I'd say Rogue One has the best look of Star Wars and
Yeah.
probably the best story.
Yeah.
Because it's
I would agree.
self-contained in a lot of ways. Although
Mhm.
I'm not a huge fan of. It doesn't have the same tone though. That's the thing.
Not the same tone.
Because the tone of Star
I don't
Wars.
like your tone.
Yeah, the tone of
knock that crap
the
off.
tone of
You
Star
knock that
Wars
crap off.
is supposed to have some levity to it,
Yeah.
whereas Rogue One had like very minor. The only levity was really K2SO.
Yeah.
But
Did you know that
sorry,
wasn't
that was
me?
a side tangent.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dan, were you saying something before
For
that?
real,
I
that
think
was
I kinda
extremely.
He was talking about Rebels.
Not really. I was just expounding on that.
And
Yeah, it's very
Rebels has some fantastic. If you haven't seen Rebels, if you haven't
Nice
seen
face.
Rebels, go watch that series. That has some of the best Star Wars in
Yeah.
it too.
good. I
Dave
did want
Filoni.
to say because I have been watching Rebels again.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
Holy crap.
Unbelievable.
Right, I need to go watch
watching
that
it
one.
through the second time,
it.
or maybe this is the third time seeing some of the episodes. I mean, it just builds and builds and builds,
Yeah.
and it's
Isn't
so
there
good.
only like 2 seasons?
4 seasons.
4 seasons.
And they did that on purpose.
Like the hotel.
Or
4
like,
seasons.
or like the globe.
Oh my gosh.
Fall, winter, spring, and so I bet you
Right.
there's some parallel there. I'll bet you the first is like summer and etc.
I bet.
Right on.
You know the crazy thing too is, can you imagine Rebels live action? I think if you
Oh my
had
gosh.
Rebels live action, that would blow away almost all seasons.
I haven't seen-
Honestly, I think it would blow away almost everything in some way.
I've only seen a few episodes.
Not that the animation
Yeah.
isn't great.
And,
I'm just saying it would blow our
Yeah.
minds.
Yeah,
Like, honestly, yeah, they should do that. Why not? Just go do Clone Wars.
I
All live action.
Yeah, why not, dude?
Yeah.
There's a lot of
You got the
direct
money.
ties to where we're at right now in the Star Wars universe, and
Yeah.
they actually mentioned, I mean, if you think of Mando with Thrawn, Ahsoka,
Right.
a
Disney-
lot of the
and-
characters, it's
Dude,
pretty
do you
crazy.
think do you guys think that Thrawn's going to make an appearance in this?
Yes.
I think it's going to be the very
Yes.
last episode.
Yes. No. In this season, you mean
Yeah.
specifically?
Yeah.
Ooh. I don't know. Yeah, I think so. I think they got to tease it. I think they
Yeah.
got, because this is the start. This is like Iron Man 2. I'll say that in
Yeah.
some ways.
Mhm.
So the
Uh,
MCU.
Well, I guess maybe Mando season 2 was Iron Man 2 because they dropped that hint of
Yeah.
Thrawn
Mhm.
with Ahsoka, and that was kind of a precursor to her show. But then also, and with Ezra
Yeah.
and what's her name, Sabine. But
Sabine.
I think this is gonna tie it together even more.
Yeah.
They got to start dropping hints. You know, it's like all the MCU movies. They had to drop a hint in each one, like the end credits.
Drop a
I think
hint.
that's what they're gonna do with this, and it's gonna be the Star Wars Avengers.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But we don't want to
Star Wars Avengers.
Yeah, no,
It's gonna be
it sounds
Star
weird when I say it
Let's
out
not
loud.
go that way.
But I hope it's
Avengers.
done like the Thrawn trilogy. I really
Yeah.
hope they
oh yeah.
keep it as close, but they're going to have to change it up, obviously, because there's a couple different things that already have happened that I don't know would really gel 100% with it. But yeah, anyway, I agree. I think he's going to show up, or a hint of him being the big bad. I think is going to show up.
Yes.
The only thing I wanted to say in defense of Boba Fett, because this is technically Boba Fett episode 5, it's season 1 or whatever we're at. The Book of Boba, 7 episodes, 5 have been about Boba, and we've seen a lot of character development in 5, and they have taken him down a different path, down the path of being.
You mean 4 of Boba?
Was it 4? Oh yeah, 4.
We're on episode 5.
Yeah, this is episode 5.
So 4 episodes really of dedicated to Boba.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess where I'm going is his character had to develop, I think, because of what they're building in this universe. You know what I'm saying? If they're building it like they did Marvel,
right?
The Marvel cinematic universe. If they're following that, then Boba needs to become this wealthy, respect
mob boss.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and it's hard for him to do that because, Mando's doing pretty good, but he doesn't have the kind of credits that, Boba has.
Well, and you couldn't have 2 bounty hunters in the same, like they had to give Boba something else because they already had Mando. And that's why they're really trying to make him bigger.
Well, and they have to differentiate him because when Mando came out, there was no Boba. Boba was dead.
Right.
So they're like, we can revive Boba's personality in Mando. And now Mando's taken on the Boba Fett mantle of being the one-liner, no messing around, epic battles.
It's kind of like Boba Fett 2.0 in some way.
Yeah, exactly. And now Boba Fett's come back from the grave, but he's almost like, was it from... the White Wizard versus the Gray Wizard.
Oh yeah,
Gandalf.
Not really.
I'm Gandalf.
Or Gandalf the White versus Sauron or Saruman. No,
not really.
Saruman.
But he is wiser.
Balrog of Morgoth.
No, he's been
No,
down.
Saruman is the other White Wizard.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay.
Anyway,
nerds.
It's okay. But he went. He's been in the Valley of Death, and he literally died.
Yeah.
And he came back from the grave, and now he's reviving, and he's coming out with a new way
That'll
of living.
change someone.
Because look where it got him.
Yeah.
It got him to the bottom of a Sarlacc pit.
That's true.
and then it got him being tortured by the Tatooine sun. And he's like, if I get out of this, I'm changing something because this ain't working out for me. So he's like, I'll get out. I'll rule with respect and yada, yada, yada. I'll use the people instead of killing them all when they make me mad. I'll just use them for me. Like, what's the big Wookiee that you guys have been talking about?
Chrysanthemum.
Instead of killing him there, he's going to use him now. And they're kind of teaming up and he's creating this cool...
Which shows that he's thinking more like a daimyo, like you were saying. More like a crime boss is use people, don't kill people if you don't have to necessarily. The only thing, though, in response to you saying that about Boba Fett, I would say is I kind of wish they would have given us that exposition. Him actually saying or showing us that he wants to change because of where it got him. You know what I mean?
He did say that. They did say that.
Well, she said the Tuskens made him soft, but they didn't really talk about him. He said he was left for dead on the sands of Tatooine. I guess if you use that line.
Well, and he said so many died. Or right? Didn't he say that line? So many of us have died.
Well, yeah, he's tired of working for crime bosses dumber crime bosses basically that get us killed.
Yeah.
And we're smarter than them, basically, was he saying.
So much senseless
but
death.
That's not necessarily because of the Sarlacc pit. I mean, I guess in a way, yes, because he was working for Jabba and that got him in the Sarlacc pit.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess you could come to that. I just wish they would have been a little bit more clear about the Sarlacc pit almost being, which I guess, again, in some ways, was whenever he had the walkabout, it really kind of was showing that he was rebirth, like kind of situation. He was becoming a new person.
Yeah. Tricky little bugger.
But even before that, I think they should have had a little bit of him changing, like killing some people ruthlessly or some Tuskens or somebody or that Rodian for no reason, just because he looked at him cross and maybe they had to be like, whoa, we don't need to kill everybody right off the bat. No disintegrations, man.
Chill.
Well, and I think they're really pushing Mando now.
Oh yeah, and
we know Mando's number one.
Yeah,
and they've established. They showed us what they're going to do with Boba. Mando's the new big man on campus.
Yeah. Yes. In one episode, they made Boba Fett a side character again.
Yep.
I'll say
his
that.
own show. They told him
in his own show. Yeah,
he was dethroned in his own show.
To
they almost
Mandalorian.
Here's the thing.
Mandalorian.
I wonder if they really only have or had 5 Boba Fett episodes. And
The rest is
Oh, yeah, the rest is-
Mandalorian.
instead of leaving him for dead,
Or one more.
Favreau's
after
like,
this one.
we got to do something with Boba. And so they gave Boba a moment when he showed up in Mandalorian season 2.
Yeah.
And he came in and like, whoa, he's alive. And
Yeah,
he's
that was
beating
pretty
people
cool.
with a gaffy stick. And he's
brutal
dropping
still.
the charges. What were they called? The
Oh,
Seismic charge.
Seismic charge, yeah.
Yeah, he's dropping seismic charges and sniping and yada yada and using all his tech. And
Yeah.
so we got a moment with him
Right.
upstaging Mando a little bit. Because
But
Mando was,
Mandalorian was still in it.
yeah, right. And
But he was almost
Mando needed help at that point because he lost Grogu. He's in trouble.
Right.
And he was almost
He's
cooler.
depressed.
He was cooler. Boba Fett was cooler in that season of Mando season
Yeah.
2 than he was in the season Boba
Yeah.
Fett.
He was
season.
more
Let's be honest.
brutal.
Brutal.
And they
It's
worked
totally
even that.
brutal.
And that was the crazy thing. That's why I was so excited about Boba Fett was because they made him so brutal in
Looked
Right.
like a,
Mando
And then they did the old switcheroo.
in some ways. And I think that's why it, again, feels slightly off. I think we're going to get there. And again, I think the end is going to
justify the means.
justify the beginning of the show. I think really we're just getting up. You got to start somewhere
We're
to
picking
get
up
somewhere.
speed.
And now that they're back together, the band is getting back together.
Getting the band back
I think
together.
it's going to get pretty epic. And I like that they're crossing over with each other.
Yeah.
Like that is cool storytelling. That gets you excited for both shows. It hypes both shows. And then we can even go into the next other shows like Ahsoka and I don't even know all the other ones that are coming out, but a lot of
Andor.
them. I know. Well, that's going to be different.
going to be a
but-
standalone, yeah.
But the Ahsoka, there was going to be the I think they canceled.
Republic.
Commandos, not
Command-
Commandos,
yeah,
but
something
something
like
like that. They were going to do that. I'm not sure if they're doing that anymore, but
I guess it's just
It's
crazy.
like the Guardians of the Republic or
yeah,
something.
something like that. Rangers of the Republic.
Rangers.
I was looking forward to that one too, but
Yeah.
The cinematic, we got
I
some
hope so.
notes here, but I guess when I think back already, now we're at episode 5 of this 7 episode season.
Yeah.
I am probably going to not remember much of the first 4.
yeah, I mean,
This
bits-
one just like
it did build. I mean, okay, they established on screen that he got out of the Sarlacc and how
Right.
he survived with
Which-
the
I kind of wish they
Tuskens.
would have had they've
Yeah, he got
embellished
his
that a
ship
little
back.
bit.
Yeah.
I really wish they would have embellished that a little bit. I wish they would have taken a little bit more time to show him getting out of the Sarlacc pit,
right.
how he did more specifically, and like him contemplating even things in there. But I guess he was choking to death, so I guess they had to get out fast. But it just seemed kind of abrupt still.
Also,
And I
how
wanted to
long
see
was
more.
he
It's such an
down
epic
there?
moment. I don't know.
They never said.
They still have
true.
not said.
Yeah.
So there's still questions. They didn't fully answer everything. All we
So
know
many
is that he got out.
questions.
So many questions.
I have answers that need questioning.
Do they? My question to you guys
Yes.
is, since you're down there in the corner,
Ow.
How does it feel to be small?
Quiet.
Stop it.
do you think they realize what kind of a pickle they've created by making Mando so cool now that when Boba Fett comes back in episode 6 next week,
Yeah.
that we're going to be like,
See, that's
Nope.
my problem. Is like he
Absolutely
kind of
not.
overshadowed the main character
Yeah.
in his own show.
Yeah.
That
a little bit.
nobody's gonna really care if he's in the next 2 episodes or not.
I mean, he's got skills. He's got skills.
unless they
but-
do like they did this episode, make it totally epic next week.
I think Mando coming
Redeem
in,
everything.
I think Mando coming in, I think is gonna
It's gonna
heighten
save the
everything.
show.
Yeah.
I really think that this
in a
the
sense.
last 2 episodes, right? Because we got 6 and 7
Yeah.
that's left. I think the last 2 episodes are gonna be crazy.
Lit.
Like Pike, all
I think
out
they're
warfare
gonna have an all-out war. Yeah,
against the Pikes, and then we're gonna find out who's in charge of the Pikes.
it's gonna be.
Or there's going
it's
to be
gonna
some bigger
Thrawn.
thread that's going to happen.
Thrawn's
going
gonna show up at the end, and they're gonna be like, "Oh no!"
If they
what'd we
drop
do?
that,
Oh, no.
that's insane.
I think something like that, or he's kind of heading up certain things, or
Yeah.
they're gonna find something else. Or Crimson Dawn. It could be a Crimson Dawn moment
right?
with
What's her face?
Kira,
Kira.
Kira from Solo again, which Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yes.
Ooh.
Ron
And then,
Howard.
What's his face is gonna show
It's
up?
all
The guy who
tying
played.
together.
All
Guy
right, so
played
we're
Solo.
getting up to the. Oh, go ahead.
One more thing, sorry, about the whole Thrawn situation and what I think they're doing with Boba Fett in a certain situation is there's a character in the Thrawn series called Talon Card, and he's kind of more about information. He's kind of doesn't really play sides.
Saboteur.
He's kind of in the middle in a lot of ways, but his business is about knowing information.
Business.
And I almost wonder if they're pushing Boba Fett to kind of be that character in some ways, that neutral party.
The information gathering.
Yeah, but in some ways, because he's kind of the
Look how they massacred my boy.
they're kind of no. I mean, he's still powerful in his own way,
Right. Yeah.
but
I
they
get where
need
you-
that in between.
I'm
character.
picking up what you're putting
Yeah,
down.
so I almost I think if they do that, that would be a smart play, and I could see them adding that if you listen to the Thrawn or read the Thrawn trilogy. Anyway, sorry, Dan, go back.
If they are going toward the Thrawn trilogy, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But you know what that means? That means we may get some
a
OG OT.
Oh yeah,
characters?
that's happened. I think we're gonna see Luke, Leia, and Han,
we saw Luke.
and Chewie. Well, yeah, exactly.
We saw Luke.
If they did Luke like that,
That's not Luke.
then what's gonna stop them from doing the rest?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey,
I
Nick,
think we're gonna see Luke, Han,
Did
and
we see
Leia back
Luke,
together.
Nick? Did we see Luke, Nick?
That's not Luke. That's not Luke.
That's not Luke.
It's not really him.
It wasn't him.
That was a hilarious thing that happened to us in the story.
Yeah, it
When we
was.
thought it was our friend Luke.
Yeah, inside joke, everybody.
Yeah, we thought we saw our friend Luke in Walmart one time.
Yeah, he called out to him.
I literally,
He's like, Luke, Luke. And he looked.
and we were both just like,
That's not Luke.
"That's not Luke."
And then we just quickly ran away.
walked away.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
That's not Luke.
Anyway, that's our inside joke.
Yeah.
Luke,
Now-
if you're
now
out
on
there,
the inside.
thanks for watching. And
Luke out.
We're sorry we missed
Oh
you.
man.
We're sorry we mistook you.
I mistook you for
You're
someone else.
literally the same person, but not. Doppelganger.
You know, like the math thing that just happened there.
Right.
Wow.
All right. Anyway, back to our regularly scheduled
All right,
programming.
I've got some quick points we're going to read off here.
Yes, let's do it. There's so
You
much in
guys
this
stop
episode.
me if you want to bring up one of them because we're getting a little long in the tooth. Isn't that a phrase?
Yeah. That means you're getting
30
old.
seconds.
That too.
Yeah. That
So-
too.
Batu.
All right, we got the bounty. Okay, he's back with the Dark Saber.
Yes.
Wow. Bounty hunting. So
Yeah,
he's using all his tech, including a Dark Saber, to bounty hunt now. Watch out. Never been done before.
Also, it's super heavy.
Yeah, that I want to touch upon that opening scene.
And then,
Him
yep.
him
All
just
right, we'll come back to it.
Oh, okay.
Glavis ring-like space station, and he found the armorer. Remember that space station looked amazing.
It was
That
like
was the
Halo.
Halo ring. It
Yeah.
was.
Gave
Halo.
up the spear to be turned into the armor for Grogu. We talked about that. The flashback to the Great Purge and the Night of Thoughts talked about that. Training with the Dark Saber. What?
So this
What?
is the part of the show where there's too much. So we're summing up.
Yeah. Let me explain.
That is too much.
No,
Let me
there's
sum
too
up.
much. Let me sum up.
That's what we're doing. Sorry, keep going.
Yeah, he defended the Dark Saber against Paz. Is that how you say it? Vizsla's claims.
Positively, yeah.
Yeah, pause Vizsla.
Yeah, and that was epic. Again, more backstory. Paz.
Pez.
Pez
Peas.
gets kicked out of the covert since he took off his helmet. Holy smokes!
That was
Yeah,
a
right.
cool
Oh,
scene.
shoot. That was-
That's like a whole Mandalorian episode right
I know,
there.
I want to talk a
I
lot
wonder if
about
he's
that.
going to redeem himself in the
Day-
pools of Mandalore.
Redeeming.
I know, I'm not talking about
This is the way, Nick. This is the way.
This is the way.
The
This is
cleansing
the way.
ritual. Back to Tatooine. That chick. What is her name? Pelimoto.
Yeah, Pelimoto.
And she was absolutely
that.
hilarious.
That
Humor worked.
She,
Okay.
yeah, they
We're going to touch it back
We
on
got a
these
BD
things.
droid. We got an N1 starfighter. We got test run of the pod racing. Totally wizard. We got New Republic officers, but
that
ones
blew
that
my
we've
mind.
seen before. The one guy and let him go. The sublight speed, how he
Didn't
got
really
away.
let him go.
Captain
Just
Carson
took off.
Teva,
Yes.
and muscle for Boba Fett with Fennec Shand on the house. He doesn't need dough. Doing pretty
Right.
good. I don't know, but he has a friend to visit first.
Did he
so-
actually say that? I don't even remember that.
Yeah, he said it's on the house.
Oh, wow.
Threw it back to him.
and then he's got a friend to visit. So is he going to see
a
Grogu?
little friend.
Is that, yeah, a little friend.
A little friend.
First, right? Didn't he say he was going to see
Little
his
friend.
little friend
Yes.
first?
Yes.
He's like, I'll do it for free, but give me 5 minutes to go visit my little friend because
Well,
he's
then-
got to take him the present. It's Christmas.
We're going to see Grogu
In the
next
in this
episode.
next episode, or are they saving that for? How is that?
I'm going to do an
I don't
over and
know.
under here in a minute about whether we see
Okay.
Grogu next episode.
Over and under.
Not right now, but in a
over
minute.
90%? Yes. Under 10? No.
It's
I don't think
over
you know how it
under
works.
90.
Yeah,
It's
we still
over
don't fully
under
understand how this
90.
works.
You don't
Over
think it
under
means
90?
what you think
That's
it means.
over 90.
We're gonna
Exactly.
put you in the Federal Reserve.
Right. I don't know.
Sorry, no, never mind.
He's
That's from the other guys. He still doesn't understand how the Federal Reserve.
Oh yeah,
You remember
right. Yeah.
That's funny.
Oh,
haven't seen
There
that.
were so
That's
many
a
points
funny
you just
movie.
rattled off there, and I want to talk about all of them so much, but I know
But we
don't
just
have
need
a
to
lot of
touch
time.
upon them.
That's
So-
what I'm saying. There's so much. Like every
Yeah.
one of those was like a separate.
It was
could
like
have been a
5
separate
episodes
episode.
of The Mandalorian.
Let's all pick
put together.
one of those and talk
There you
about
go.
it.
I'm talking about the Starfighter.
Go ahead.
And
60
one
seconds.
Starfighter.
60 seconds on the clock.
And the nostalgia
Go for it.
factor of the whole episode.
Go.
Okay, so
Was that a highlight to you?
it
Really?
was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Literally this whole episode, like
The
when he goes
highlight.
back to Tatooine, it's like a callback to
So much.
the Phantom Menace. Because they have the N1 Starfighter, which is his new ship now, which they build. That was great.
Dude, that
I wonder how long it actually took them, like in
probably as
the
much
world.
time as it took us to build the Millennium Falcon.
probably at least 8 hours. Yeah, and then
Sure.
he flies it through the pod racing through Beggar's Canyon, and it even has the shot of the ramp that Anakin launched off of.
It was the same thing.
It was. And then he goes in outer space, uses, his crazy fast maneuverability
Why are we looking
to
at
get
me?
away from the New Republic.
Because you're so excited, apparently.
And it was just, there was so many callbacks. Oh, also, there's a BD-1 or a BD droid. BD. So that's a reference to
Cal Kestis.
Jedi Fallen Order, which he thinks.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about this real 30 seconds.
Yeah, okay, you go.
Well, no, both of us.
No,
but,
yeah. He thinks Cal Kestis is going to show up at some point to help the Mando train with the Dark Saber.
Doesn't that make sense, though?
It does, and not really.
But it's not
the same BD unit.
Unless they repainted him, but it was, you said.
I think it's just a reference to the new game that's coming out, which is Jedi Fallen Order 2.
It might just be to hype it up, like you're saying.
I think so.
But it seems too significant in some ways.
It's just to hype it up.
Maybe. I don't know.
It's literally saying that the whole universe is connected.
Right. I get that, because it's a BD droid. But
if we see a white redhead, like the whitest kid you know, who's got red hair in the next episode, you can almost guarantee it's going to be Cal
red
Kestis.
hair is cool. I like red hair.
Yeah, I mean, it was fine with me. I'm just saying, like, he's going to stand out if it is.
Right.
If he does show up.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if he does show up?
Dude, see, that's what I'm saying.
Fights the Pikes.
Dude.
Pike fighting.
The only reason I say that is
Yeah.
I could see your perspective, that it's a different BD and they're just hyping up the game. And that could be all that it is. But
it's
you
too
could
significant
do that,
to dismiss it.
Yeah, and I just feel like you can definitely do that and bring in that character. Why not do both?
Why is he a different color if it's the same BD unit?
Yeah, it could still be a different BD unit. Right. And they're just kind of hinting
they're just like,
he's
going to show up.
Yeah, that he's going to show up.
Yeah.
A live action version of Cal Kestis would be cool, but they would have to age him up a bit. Because
I haven't seen. I know you guys have played it, but I haven't seen the whole game.
It takes place 5 years after the Jedi or the Order 66.
Yes,
the game does.
Yes.
So,
but for those that haven't played the game, are they going to have any clue? Are they going to be so blindsided when they see Kestis walk up?
I mean, the rich thing about that though is he shows up, whips out a lightsaber, and goes to town on somebody, and you just get your interest piqued.
Yep.
And they could also, which would promote people to go play the second game, which is probably going to be what their goal is in this.
That's what it's going to be.
And then you go play that second game or watch it or whatever online. I'm sure you can find that, just the story mode or whatever. That would get you excited for the game. It would also bring in a really cool new character, a Jedi that survived Order 66, and presumably survived all the way up until now, because there's nothing that said that he hasn't. I think that would be really cool. And Cal Kestis' goal in that game. Well, I don't want to spoil anything, I guess.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Played it.
Spoilers.
I think you're over your 30-second mark anyway.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Anyway, but I think it would be cool if he showed up and trained Mando, because obviously he needs some training with that saber. So anyway, I thought it was a cool moment.
It was a cool moment.
All right. So did you want to talk any more about the N1 or?
No, I pretty much. Well, I mean, it is sweet. It's sleek and it's amped up. It's crazy fast.
Did you and the like hood scoop, or not hood scoop, but like the engine?
The little engine. It's like a
classic
hot rodder.
Yeah, like a classic muscle car.
And then he's got the huge guns on the front.
That was cool.
This is going to be great to see in action.
Yeah, because they modded a bit. They kept it nice and sleek Mando style, but then the additions in the paint job, I like that it had the hint of yellow, but it looked very sleek still.
And then what he says after he flies it. So how was it? Wizard.
Yes. I'm glad you touched upon that.
Oh my gosh, that was funny.
That made me laugh so hard.
It's another callback to episode 1.
Yep.
When his friend Kitster says, "That was so wizard, Annie." It's like, the whole thing was just a nostalgia moment for episode 1.
Yeah, and
whenever they go to Tatooine.
The whole thing, you're right. But it felt so healthy.
It was done right, respectfully.
It was so well done.
Respect.
The key of Star Wars.
They revisited it, but it was... Yeah. You could see George Lucas smiling.
Yes.
I think, honestly, do you think it's because of the backlash for the sequel trilogy?
Well, not necessarily. I think it's just anything to do with Star Wars when it comes to the originals and the prequels that George Lucas has done. You have to treat it with respect if you want the fans. I think
they're trying to make amends. As in, we're sorry we ragged on the prequel trilogy.
I don't know.
When we got the sequel trilogy and it was just garbage.
That could be Dave Filoni saying, or John Favreau and Dave Filoni saying that in a way.
Yeah.
But it's also like, it made sense though for the story. That's the thing. It didn't take us out of the story, adding in something from the prequels. It actually made sense in the fact that it's unregistered. It's a sleek starship. Everything about it worked.
Yeah.
And the modifications they made. So I liked how they did that with respect.
And I honestly thought it was going to fall apart.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, please don't fall apart. Because I mean, you know, at that one point, it's like, oh crap, it's going to fall apart. And then he just gets pulled over by New Republic fighters.
Yeah, which was
good,
okay, man. That's good. That was good. I love seeing that guy again.
Right.
It reminds me.
I don't even remember his name. What was his name?
What was his name? Fact checker.
Check some facts.
Oh, the
Captain.
We got it right here. Yeah, Carson Teva.
Carson Teva.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I thought that was kind of cool, actually, seeing him.
I love seeing that.
Trapper
He
Wolf
connected
went.
the dots.
I wonder where Trapper Wolf went.
Because that was
Dave Filoni's character.
Yeah, he's probably just off.
Was the other guy
Off
like the
doing
director,
Dave Filoni
or what
things.
was that?
No, because Bryce Dallas Howard was the director.
Yeah, you're right.
So
But
I don't.
like
He
Robert
might.
Rodriguez?
Maybe he directed a different episode. Robert Rodriguez, I think, was the
Yeah, but you didn't see his
Could've been
face.
him.
the what's his name?
The mayor. Yeah.
No, he wasn't.
He did the
mayor.
voice of the mayor.
Did he?
I thought so.
No, I thought that was somebody else.
No, he was one of the Trandoshan.
Yeah, he was the Trandoshan.
Oh,
the
Trandoshan.
crime lord Trandoshan.
But that could have been him. I don't think it was.
Yeah, it could have been him
But that
live
guy looked
action, you don't
familiar, and there's so few acting parts. They're always like Daniel Craig or some huge actor.
Right.
But just to touch upon the N1 again, wasn't the CGI and like the look of this
Oh, it
episode
was beautiful.
just super clean
Unbelievable.
overall? Like
Yeah.
the whole episode.
Well, here's the thing. I think,
Movie quality.
and hindsight's 2020. That's why it's so blurry behind me.
Yep.
But
Hindsight. Behind
I think
you.
the
Wouldn't it be
Mandalorian
clear?
folks,
Right.
maybe Filoni, maybe whomever, have been working on this episode since Mandalorian season 2 finished.
Probably.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Boba Fett's been in the works for a little while. Maybe after season 1 of, or maybe during season 1 of Boba Fett or Mando.
Season
You
1
know
or
what I'm
2.
saying? Season 1 or 2, they were filming it. You know what I'm saying? Because they
Right,
didn't
right.
need Mando to do that show. So they were out filming. They knew Mando was going to be successful, but you know what I'm saying? And now Mando's
saying?
got so much hype, so much momentum.
Yeah.
They just
The
had-
guys are like, we have to level up. If Mando
Yeah.
comes on the screen, we got to be better than season 2. And we
Yeah.
just got it.
Mhm.
So it's like almost like how you guys say with video games, there's like this company makes this video game, and then it's the same series of games, but it's this company makes it. This one wasn't as good. This one was, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, with like
EA.
Black Ops or like Black Ops versus like
Treyarch versus
Treyarch
Activision.
versus
Activision.
Yeah.
It's like-
Activision. Yeah.
It's like
Sledgehammer.
the Mando team and creatives are just like leading the way.
Right. They're
And
like,
it's
we
almost
gotta
like they
amp
put
this
some
up.
of the B squad, but it's still it's still Favreau.
Right,
with story.
right.
But it's almost like the B squad did Boba Fett. You know what I mean?
At least the first couple, which really I feel like in some ways comes down to the director in a lot of ways, which was what's his name? Robert Rodriguez, right?
Yeah.
Who
Yes.
did the It's kind of hard. I
Well,
don't
'cause,
want to
yeah,
rip on the guy. I
like
mean,
you
I
said,
still think he
tomorrow-
did a
He's
good
good.
job.
Yeah.
I'm not putting him down.
But you said even Tamara Morrison was telling him he had way too many lines.
And I don't know if he was saying that necessarily to Robert Rodriguez or if he was saying that to Jon
Just-
Favreau, because
yeah.
Jon Favreau is still the one who wrote everything.
Favreau
yeah.
did the story.
But
yeah.
it depends on how you depict it and bring it
But
to
see,
life,
I think
which
that's,
is the
that's
director's
what the
job.
director's job is. Yeah.
Which I still think that maybe Jon Favreau should have been over. But, you know, there's only so much that Jon Favreau can change technically if he's handed that
Yeah.
position to somebody else.
Yeah.
Right.
And the biggest negatives I think we have in a lot of ways of this season so far is it's not heavy hitting in a lot of ways. Doesn't feel 100% like Boba Fett, even though he has changed.
Mhm.
But the biggest thing is that it's also got a lot of kid feeling things in it.
Yeah.
You know, like
Not this episode,
it
though.
felt definitely not this one.
No.
But it was like, it feels like the movies that he did.
Yeah.
Spy Kids.
Spy Kids.
I can't help but get that
Right.
image out of my mind when I
And-
see a lot of the Spy Kids looking things.
The only thing that I can compare it to is when Bryce Dallas Howard did in season 1. I want to say it was episode 6, 7 on the planet when he took off his helmet.
I
Wasn't
think
it
it was 4.
maybe it was 4.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think you're right.
It was episode 4,
Yeah.
Into that
season
like
1.
With
jungle planet.
With
and it was
the
kind of
National Geographic shots.
Yeah.
Jurassic
Yeah.
Park.
Yeah. The dog people.
Yeah. It was pretty.
Yeah.
That was
Same
kind
race,
of
or is it?
that was the
Yeah,
worst
it was.
one. One of the worst ones of the whole
Yeah.
season.
It was like
It was the same director.
It didn't really fit in.
It wasn't
and
horrible.
This one,
It's really the introduction of what's her
Well,
name.
and then she did an
Yeah.
episode or 2 in season 2, and like I want to say some of those episodes she did in season 2, which
They
I
were-
think was when the Bo-Katan showed up.
yeah, I
wanna
believe
say.
you're right.
Yep.
Mhm.
Unbelievable! It was so good. The
It was
action
a big
great.
step up.
And now look at it.
Now it's
look
like-
at her. It's like
She's only
she just
progressed.
directed a
Yeah.
film,
Yeah.
a fully produced movie that was unbelievable. Best Disney Plus content so far.
It's funny too because it seems like a lot of the episodes she directs has a lot of female characters in them. Most all of them do because she directed basically what's her name from the season 1, which was who's not there anymore. Gina Carano, and then also the other love interest in some ways to Mando, and then also and then it was Bo-Katan and the other chick. I forget her name, but it's just funny that she's directing a lot of female characters. And this one, it's the only. Mostly a lot of chicks in this one, which is the funny lady. What's her name again?
Pelimoto.
She was hilarious in this.
I did a Jawa once. They were really hairy. Furry. Really furry. A lot of problems.
That was hilarious.
There was some.
But it also had Fennec again in it, female, and then the armorer. So which had she had
Who
a lot
plays
of
the armorer?
Oh, I know.
Who voices her? I can't remember.
Good question.
She does a great
job. I know her
job,
voice. And I can't place her face.
All right. Well, that's about it for the N1. Sorry.
Yeah, that's it.
What is it? Emily Swallow.
Emily Swallow.
She's from something, obviously.
I still can't place the face.
I have nothing.
Oh, okay.
He's got nothing.
I
told you he doesn't talk very much.
I was just going to say, was there a point, though, in this episode that you liked more than anything else?
Well, I like the Starfighter, and Nick already touched upon that, so we're good here.
What about the Dark Saber or any of the fighting in the beginning?
It was cool. I mean, it was sweet. I don't have a lot of words to say.
That's fine.
You know me, I'm Matt. I don't talk much.
Strong man.
I was going to bring up the Dark Saber.
All right, Dan, go ahead.
The Dark Saber battle was unbelievable.
It was.
Let me do this. But I mean, at the beginning, but then the showdown between Paz and him.
Yes.
As he got
challenged.
challenged.
I did not think we were going to see that so quickly, but
I'm thinking like they have redefined lightsaber fan films for me. I'm looking at that sequence and I'm just like, you win.
Right, yep. Hands down.
You know, and then the battle at the beginning with him and, you know, getting scarred with the Dark Saber because he's not really a swordsman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's a gunslinger.
And he was fighting against the blade and then how he trained. But then that battle against him and Paz was just crazy.
It was epic. I'm so glad they took the time. Everything in this episode felt well timed out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It reminded me of the episode in season 2 on that planet when Ahsoka showed up.
Yeah, the Ahsoka episode.
Yeah, and then they had she had the spear, right?
Is that 5? I think that was 5.
Somebody had a spear.
Yeah, that's where he got the spear.
Yeah. And I loved that fight. That was like, but this kind of leveled it up for me a little bit. Maybe it was on the same level if I watched them back to back, but it was fun to watch from an action and choreography filming perspective with the stakes of if you fall off this thing because we have no ledges in Star Wars, you're a goner.
Yeah.
That part where
except for he fell off and landed on something else.
The part where she's training him and he's just like, whoop.
We lost him.
And it's like, what?
Right. Yeah. He just fell off.
He's just like,
oh, and he just flies back up and lands.
I was like, great.
That was great. I love that scene. And the way they handled that, and even that whole space planet there, or the Halo ring that was on, the cinematography and that was amazing. It looked so good. Everything about it was movie
great.
Quality. The fight scene in the beginning, I love that they just started off with him, a simple Mando
cutting
getting a bounty.
In half.
Yeah, cutting people. I love that they did that.
Right?
They actually did. They did not pull any punches. At first, he kind of sliced those guys. I thought he was cutting them in half that first time, and then he didn't. I was kind of like, they're going to not do it.
and then
they did it.
Whoa!
Yeah. You were just like, I guess he's bringing him in cold.
Right?
Yeah.
What a rush.
I love that they threw that line in there.
Right? Yeah.
Nostalgia.
I guess part of me is like, was this supposed to be season 3, episode 1?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it feels like
I think
that.
it is.
It's season 3, episode 1.
Yeah, it really is.
It's not 2.5. We're not meeting him halfway. We just went all the way to season 3.
You just got to think like, what are they gonna do for season 3, episode 1 now?
Well, it's got to be.
It's got to be way even higher than that.
Yeah.
Way even higher.
I still think
way even higher.
I think like
you heard it here first, folks.
Even higher.
I think Thrawn maybe, and then once the big bad comes, like basically how Thanos showed up. Now you need your heroes to be the best they can be because they got some crap coming.
Yeah. You think
exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a good question. You think if they do it like MCU, some major characters are going to get killed off?
I think they're going to save that for big moments. If they kill off characters, it better be worth something because that's what the sequel trilogy failed horribly at.
Yep.
You don't just kill characters.
Your heroes, kids, because they're old.
Right. You can't have
That's the wrong message.
A main character death has to have weight to it.
Yeah.
And a purpose.
Well,
if you don't do it without that, it means nothing.
I would say Han Solo. Spoilers if you haven't watched the sequel trilogy. That one was like the only one that had weight to it.
It didn't even though. What weight did it have to it?
Because he had to do it.
Why did he have to walk out there on that plank just to say Ben? He thought that that was going to change him?
Ben had to do it just to say that he did it. He said he knew what he had to do, but he didn't know if he could do it. Right?
Yeah, but
Han helped him do it.
It still felt pointless.
Because, right, it does feel pointless. But on the broader, like the story still sucks, obviously. But on the broader scope of stuff, you're like, that actually kind of makes sense.
Well, in some ways, yeah, because he's turning more to the dark side and he has to turn more to the dark side.
He knew it was the only way he could save his son.
Well, he was hoping that he could.
Yeah. Technically speaking. Like I said, the story still sucks.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. I don't know, yeah. But still.
Well, my over-under at the beginning, I think on that reaction preview that we did when we picked Mandalorian season 2.5,
yes,
is whether or not Boba Fett might be killed off in this season.
Oh, you want to do an over-under on that?
I did one before. I don't think I did an actual over-under, but I was like, what do you think the odds are of them just killing off Boba at the end of season, or the end of the final episode? And then literally Mando takes on all of that. But then we'd have to pass it along. Would Fennec take it over? Yeah,
I think Fennec would take it over.
I think that would.
I don't think they'd do that to Mando.
No, Mando doesn't need to be strapped down to some crap planet.
I honestly think that would really make this season pointless.
Yeah. It'd be like,
what was this all about? Yeah. I mean, unless
if
they give it to Mando,
then what has this all been about?
Exactly.
Right. So over under 15% Boba Fett dies. In
15 or 50?
15.
So which one's living? Which one's
you
dying?
say 15%.
15% he died.
Over 15% that he dies, or under 50% that he dies?
I would say under.
I
don't think they're going to kill him.
Either
off.
way, he's died. Do you think
is that the right
over?
way?
It's under.
Whatever way means
over is they're going to kill him.
Oh,
under is they're not going to kill him.
But see, I'm leaning it way toward
skewed.
one. So you're saying that there's a less than 15% chance that he.
Yeah, there's less than 50%.
Or is there a 15 to 100% chance they will?
Yes.
Right.
I don't think they're gonna.
I don't think they're gonna.
I don't think they would.
I don't think they will.
If they do, I don't know what they're thinking.
Yeah, there's like a 15% chance.
It's one of the. It's the whole kill your heroes, kids, because they're old.
Yes. Yeah, if they do that, then
that would make sense.
Oh, yeah, they better not do that though.
Well,
I don't think
they just brought him back. You know,
it just doesn't make a lot of sense when you think about it. And they got a lot more for him to do. And I think if they're building up to this whole big bad, they're going to need him. They're going to need something like this, and that's why they're building him up this way. I feel
right, 100%.
But I mean, they could, and then just give it to Mando, like you said.
Yeah,
but they better make it epic if they do that.
Yeah. Right.
You know?
No, see, I don't see Mando being a daimyo. He's he needs to do stuff.
Yeah. Oh, and that's what another thing.
I think he's going to go back to Mandalore and rule.
That's what this episode really set up in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Really. It kind of was weird because he progressed so much as a character in season 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get this episode and he really reverts back real quick because he wants to be a part of the culvert again as to how he was. And it really felt kind of like, man, he's just getting right back into that groove. He's learned so much. He's come so far. Why does he need to go back to these people in some ways? And I feel like really the next season and this episode in some ways, he's trying to redeem his honor in some ways, but I hope that season 3 is really going to progress him to become his own man. He's searching, I feel like. And that's kind of what they're telling us. He's searching who he needs to become. There's 2 different sides already. There's Mandalorians, which is Bo-Katan. That's a different way of thinking. There's also the culvert. That's a totally different way of thinking. And I think he needs to realize that I can take both from both worlds, still honor the past, and become my own man. And then I still think bring them together.
Hannah Montana.
Oh, gosh. Bring them together and then become Mandalore.
Together with the tape. The tape of love.
become Mandalore the ultimate,
The sticky stuff.
and rule
The Dark
rule the
Saber,
way
yeah.
that he needs to. And I that's what I want to see in season 3.
Which is why it's you're sorry, I'm cutting in.
No,
but
you're
it's
fine.
100%. You're leaning into that, him becoming the Mandalore the Great or whatever you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because
And
of
the
the
mythosaur.
references
Yeah,
to
that
the
was so
Rebels
cool.
universe,
Yep.
which had Thronicus.
Yep.
And all the tie-ins to the sequel, not the sequel trilogy, but the Mando world.
The Mandalorians.
I mean, the Mandalorians in general, which that's Clone Wars, that's Rebels, that's not as much in the original trilogy where the Mandalorians, but it's the later universes that Filoni was a part of and Favreau, voice acting. So it just makes sense that they're leaning into live action, closing off some of the storylines that they started and et cetera that I don't want to give away, spoiling Rebels, but
Yeah, don't do that.
there's a lot of things
not
that
cool,
could
man.
come from that. Wouldn't you say, Dustin?
Yeah, I completely agree
And I
with
think
you.
that's
Yeah.
where they're going.
They're connecting the dots for us
Yeah.
from Rebels to the Mandalorian. They're tying things together. Just that scene. Oh my goodness, I cannot get over that scene. Even of
I know.
the Night of 1,000 Tears.
Yeah, that was epic.
that was so epic. I mean,
That
it
was
was
great.
heartbreaking to watch, really.
Right.
And I'm like, why in the heck did they not destroy those fools? But they must have been blindsided. I mean, it had to
Yeah.
have been.
They were betrayed.
It was so epic, though. I mean,
Well, then
yeah.
somehow.
that's why this episode.
I think
blew
that's
me away.
that's where Moff Gideon got the Dark Saber, isn't it?
Yeah, that's where.
That's
Yeah,
must
that's where
have
he
been.
got the
Yeah.
Dark Saber.
Shmushed
from.
been.
Yeah, which was interesting that she even went into the whole tangent about Bo-Katan's
Yeah.
rule,
She got it was gifted to her, so
and
it laid waste to Mandalore.
yeah, and that's why her rule ended in
Yep,
a
in
disaster
tragedy.
because she didn't earn through
Yep.
combat. It
Yep.
was given to her, and that also sets up why she was so hesitant to take it from Din in
Yep.
season 2. It parallels perfectly,
Mm-hmm.
and why she can't rule that. She believes she can't rule that way again because of what happened.
Yep.
And she's trying to redeem her honor, and I think that's going to come into season 3 a lot of Mandalorian.
Yes.
I love how they're tying everything together. Things are really meshing well. They're going together well. I like the way that they're building. This episode just excelled everything tenfold.
Yes.
It blew me away. I'm going to watch it immediately after
We're
this.
gonna go watch
We
it
need
again
to-
tonight.
yeah, we need to
1,000
rate it.
times. But yeah,
So
let's get to these
we're gonna-
ratings.
We're out of time.
Jump.
We're
to the
closing
ratings.
out.
I
We
think
missed
we
our.
all can say what we rated. it as
yes.
the same. So
Yeah. Out of
10
what do we,
out
what
of
do we call this?
5.
Other than
We were out of 5.
Out of
per
5?
Usual.
I know the 5,
100.
but I was going to say, is it Carson? We
Wookiee
gotta
cookies.
change Wookiee cookies again? Okay.
Yeah,
we'll do
because
Wookiee
it's
cookies.
Wookiee
technically
cookie
a Mando
tributes.
episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll go back to Wookiee
Wookiee
cookies.
cookies.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to rate this episode. Man, it was so good. Who wants to
So
start?
yeah, the Wookiee cookie, the rating was out of 10, right?
Yes.
It was
20.
out of 10. So we're
20
going back
out
to
of
the
10.
10. We're going
20
10.
out of 10.
20 out of 10. It was that good.
It really was.
I honestly, it's kind of crazy though, because I want to see what they're gonna do for Mandalorian season 3, episode
Yeah.
1,
yeah.
because it's like I don't know how you can top that episode.
They just raised
I'm sure
the
they'll
bar.
find a way,
They just raised the bar.
This is
but
the
I was
way.
like,
This is the way.
that was epic.
Yes.
Yeah.
What
Okay,
about
what
you,
about you,
Matt?
Matt?
Strong Matt.
I'm just gonna keep it 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
You know
We'll
what,
rate
Matt?
again.
It's clean.
You know what Matt just reminded me of real
Oh
quick?
boy.
Oh,
was
boy.
what's his name? The gunslinger dude from season 2, episode 1 of Mando. You remember?
Gunslinger,
Not
yeah.
the gunslinger. What's his name? The shoot. Played by the guy we like. He's like a Clint Eastwood look-alike kind of guy.
I could see that. He had the armor,
governor,
right?
What's his name? Shoot.
Didn't he
Was
have
it Cobb
Mando's
Vanth?
or Boba?
Yeah, Cobb Vanth. He
Yeah.
reminds me of Cobb Vanth.
Timothy Oliphant.
Timothy Oliphant. That's what
Yeah.
you remind me of right now. You look
Yeah.
good.
It's
All right.
fair.
Thank you.
It's
Looking
fair.
good,
Looks
strong,
good.
Matt. Looking
Look
good.
at it. Look
All right.
at
Anyway,
it.
sorry, that was totally off subject, but it's
Yeah.
good.
All right, what about you?
Anywho,
So
Rate it.
I'm gonna rate that. So you said 20 out of 10.
Yes.
I say 100 out of 10.
100 out of 10.
100 out of 10.
10 to the
Yeah.
10th
Isn't that
power.
just 10?
Again, there.
Right? Is that
I
right?
have no clue.
The only thing that pained me a little
10 to the
bit.
second power?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing that pained me a little bit was the whole melting down of the whole spear. I just like
The
spears.
100th power.
So, but that's a personal thing. It didn't affect the episode in any way, really. It was just me personally.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was a movie. It was a movie we just watched to progress the story way farther for the Mando in one episode than we've watched the whole season of Boba Fett.
Yep.
It's the best episode of Boba Fett, and it didn't even have Boba Fett in it.
Exactly.
It paid respect to.
That's why it's kind of funny to me.
Yeah, it paid respect to the prequels
Yep.
in a good way. It was hilarious. The comedy worked in it.
Yep.
It did not feel out
Real
of place. It was hilarious. They built a new ship. So much that we learned.
Yep.
Everything about it. I love it. I'm going to stop talking because I can talk about it forever. So,
Right.
Dan, what did you think about this episode?
I'm just going to keep it simple like Matt. I think the best you can do is 10 out of 10. Plus, we're going to add in all the Boba Fett points, which is 5 out of 5. So I'll give it 15 out of 10.
Nice. Wookie Cookie.
We'll keep it clean. We got Wookie Cookie tributes going on here.
Yeah.
And we're at 15 out of 10 because I couldn't fault it in any way, shape, or form.
Agreed.
It was just that good.
We hear
and
you.
I want to watch it again.
We hear you.
So, in case you aren't getting our drift, we really love this episode.
This is a really good episode.
It really set the bar for anything to come in the future of Mandalorian or Boba Fett. And I think there's even I think they're going to take it up a notch. I think we're going to see some insanity. It's hard to imagine at this stage, but I think the world that they're continuing to build is just going to continue to blow us away. I hope so.
Yeah.
Because the stuff that they dropped in this episode alone is just like, wow, they could go 1,000 different directions now.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
If nothing else, hopefully this isn't the peak. But if this were the peak,
it was a good
peak. Yeah. Agreed. It makes you wonder where can they go from here that's going to be better than this.
Where do we go?
And if they top it, I will give them mad respect.
Yeah.
Because
mad respect.
that was so good. I want the rest of the season to be this good, if not better.
Yeah.
If they can't do that, then whatever. But still, I hope for that.
Brady Bunch.
So, Brady Bunch. Oh, yeah, we got to look around.
Oh, wait, there's nobody above me.
The podcast listeners are like, what? What's going on?
Yeah,
we look like the Brady Bunch, everybody.
By the way, we've had a lot of people listening. So, you don't want to see us, but you want to listen to us. We appreciate you listening. We're having fun doing this, and this is the moment we've been waiting for.
Yes, thanks for joining our community by commenting. We appreciate it. We love talking Star Wars here.
Coming.
And didn't we have? Yeah, we love the community. We love the conversation, and we just didn't we pick this up though. We picked up on it last episode. It kind of fell a little flat, and then all of a sudden, like all of us were like, I think next week's going to be something big.
Yeah, it has to be.
And I don't know why. I'm like, I got to get on this episode because we got to talk.
So thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in and listening to us. If you got any more comments, we'd love to hear them. Tell us more about the episode and if you liked it or not too. Tell your friends. Tell your frenemies.
Frenemies. Your enemies.
Frenemies.
Your friends of your enemies.
Yeah,
your enemies' friends.
Exactly.
That's it for now. So
I'll do it.
I think we're going to wrap it up. We got a cumulative 1 billion out of 10.
1 billion.
Definitely.
Keep it up, Favreau. Keep it up.
Yeah, keep going.
Just crank it up.
This is
crank
just
it up
an
to 11.
awesome episode. Thanks for tuning into this episode of Stay on Target. We appreciate you being here. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Listen on the podcasts if you don't want to see our beautiful faces, especially Matt. Strong Matt.
Yeah.
He looks really good.
I'm hideous.
And Nick looks like Chrysanthemum. He is the most handsome Wookiee around, I'll say that much. So anyway, thanks for tuning in.
Oh, we didn't even cut to me that whole time.
Sorry,
Don't look at me.
slightly distracted.
All right.
This was an awesome episode.
Yeah.
You're all awesome. We're going to go watch it again. You should too. So get out of here. Go enjoy this episode again. And we'll see you next week on Stay on Target. And then we'll be reviewing Book of Boba Fett Episode 6.
Yeah.
So get out of here.
Get out.
We did it
Leave
last
us
week.
comments in the comment section.
Stay strong. Stay classy.
Stay Matt.
Do we have any more? Stay pet.
We put the laughter in the slaughter.
We put the... Which is what
As
Mando
what we're
did in the very beginning of this
and
episode.
what we're doing to this show. We're slaughtering it.
Speaking of the very beginning of the show, this is the very end of this show.
Yeah.
We
It's
love
time to go now. Nap time now.
Sleepy time.
Wizard!
Wizard.
You're a wizard.
All right, cut.